This prayer didn't reach you by chance. If these words reach your ears now, there is a greater purpose behind them. When God decides to touch a soul, nothing happens by coincidence. Perhaps you arrived here exhausted, wounded inside, carrying burdens that no one notices. Perhaps you are going through days of heartache, nights that are too silent, moments when everything seems stuck. But know this: heaven never stops working. God works even when you don't see it. And today, He has led you here for a very clear reason. A miracle that needs to happen urgently. You are not here without reason. There are struggles you've never told anyone about, tears that have fallen out of sight, silent pleas, even afraid to be spoken aloud. You tried to resist, tried to remain firm, tried to trust, but weariness arrived. And it is precisely in these moments that God sends signs. Today, that sign is this prayer. Today, heaven calls you by name. Today, St. Carlo Acutis presents himself before God to intercede for you, for your pain, for your seemingly unsolvable cause, for what you need so urgently. Before we move on, allow me to speak directly to your heart. If something within you has been touched by this message, don't ignore this call. Subscribe to this channel now. Activate the bell so you don't miss any prayers. Here, we pray together every day. Every day there is a new prayer prepared with faith, love, and surrender to strengthen your soul and rekindle your hope. By subscribing, you are not just pressing a button. You are saying to God, I trust, I remain, I believe. Don't walk alone. Walk with us. Walk with faith. Now turn your heart to this moment. Take a deep breath. Calm your thoughts. Surrender in this moment everything that troubles you. It doesn't matter if it's a financial difficulty, an illness, a family conflict, emotional pain, constant fear, a difficult choice, or a miracle that seems impossible in human eyes. For God, nothing is impossible. And St. Carlo Acutis, a young man of profound faith, sincere love, and total surrender, knew the path to miracles because he lived trusting fully in the living presence of God. Perhaps you've been waiting for something for a long time. Perhaps you have already prayed, cried, waited, and nothing seems to have changed. But listen carefully. God's timing is not delay. God's silence is not abandonment. Often, heaven is working behind the scenes, adjusting invisible details, preparing the right moment so that the miracle not only happens, but remains. Today, this prayer marks a new beginning. Today, something begins to move in the spiritual world in your favor. St. Charles Acutis believed that the Eucharist was his direct road to heaven. He lived a simple, pure, and intense faith. Even at such a young age, he understood something that many take a lifetime to grasp. Those who truly trust in God never walk alone. Today, we unite ourselves to that faith. Today, we unite ourselves to that trust. Today, we place before God what hurts most, what worries us most, what needs an urgent answer. If you've made it this far in this prayer, it's because heaven is inviting you to continue. Don't give up now. Don't let go of that faith. Don't let fear speak louder than hope. God is closer than you imagine. St. Carlo Acutis walks beside you at this moment, taking your request directly to the Father's heart. And when a plea is born from pain, faith, and sincere surrender, a miracle finds its way. Stay with me until the end of this prayer. Open your heart. Pray with faith. Surrender everything, because today is no ordinary day. Today is a day to cry out. Today is a day to trust. Today is a day for miracles. San Carlo Acutis, at this moment I stand before God with an open, simple, and needy heart. I come as I am, with my pain, my fears, my doubts, and also with my faith, even if tired, even if wounded. I bring no beautiful words nor surplus strength, but I carry a sincere plea that springs from the urgency of my soul. St. Charles Acutis, intimate friend of God, You who live trusting fully in the living presence of the Lord, turn your gaze upon me now. Intercede for me at this moment. Present to the Father that which I cannot resolve alone. You know the weight I carry, the anguish that accompanies me, this cause that needs an immediate miracle. Lord God Almighty, I place in your hands that which worries me most right now, that which steals my sleep, tightens my chest, and quickens my heart with fear. I tried with my own strength and came this far because I recognize I need you. I need your intervention. I need heaven to move in my favor. San Carlo Acutis, take this request to the heart of God. Through your intercession, touch this situation that seems impossible in human eyes, where there are closed doors, open paths, where there are difficult diagnoses, pour out healing. Where there is debt, scarcity, and worry, pour out providence. Where there are hidden tears, pour out comfort and peace. Sir, whatever miracle I need right now, I surrender it to you. I place this urgent cause before your altar. Do not let fear be greater than my faith. Even without yet seeing the solution, I choose to trust. Even if the time seems long, I choose to wait on you. Even with a fragile heart, I choose to believe that you are acting now. I trust, Lord, even when my mind tries to doubt. I trust, even when circumstances say otherwise. At this moment, I choose to silence my fear and raise my faith, however small, however fragile. Because I know that a sincere heart moves heaven, and today I stand before you not to demand, but to plead with humility and hope. San Carlo Acutis, a living witness to a simple yet powerful faith, teach me to trust as you trusted. Teach me to surrender as you surrendered. Teach me to wait without despair, knowing that God never fails and never abandons those who seek him with a true heart. Walk with me in this time of waiting. Sustain my faith while the miracle does not manifest. Sir, enter now into this seemingly hopeless situation. Examine every detail of this urgent matter. Where there is confusion, bring clarity. Where there is delay, hasten time according to your will. Where there is spiritual oppression, break every chain that tries to paralyze me. I declare that no opposing force is greater than your power. I surrender to you, Father, every person involved in this problem. Every decision that needs to be made, every answer that hasn't yet arrived, nothing is beyond your reach, nothing escapes your gaze. You are the God who sees the invisible, who works in silence and acts at the exact moment. San Carlo Acutis, bring before God every tear that fell without witnesses, every prayer said in silence, every request repeated night after night. May none of this be in vain. May heaven recognize the sincerity of this cry. May this plea find an echo in the Father's heart. Sir, if what I ask for today is not in accordance with your will, transform my heart to accept it. But if it is, if this miracle is aligned with your plans, I ask you with faith, age now. It moves circumstances, touches people, changes scenarios, opens unexpected doors. I believe that while I pray, something is already moving in the spiritual world. Even without seeing, I believe. Even without feeling it, I trust. Because faith doesn't depend on what the eyes see, but on the certainty that you are faithful. At this moment, Lord, I surrender control. I release what I tried to hold on to alone for so long. I rest my soul in you, even with a heavy heart, even with the painful waiting. San Carlo Acutis, attentive intercessor, remain with me in this supplication. Do not let me become discouraged. Sustain my hope when weariness strikes. Remind me that heaven is never late and that God never arrives too late. Everything happens at the right time, even when my human clock does not understand. Sir, enter now into the places I cannot reach. Go ahead of the difficult conversations, the important decisions, the trials, the results, the answers that have not yet come. Visit every environment connected to this urgent request. May your presence transform what seemed lost into a testimony of faith. I place before you, Father, my restless thoughts, my sleepless nights, the anxiety that tries to take over. Wash my mind with your peace. Silence the voices that say it won't work. Strengthen my spirit so that I may continue to trust, even while I wait. San Carlo Acutis, I present this cry with love and insistence before God. May my prayer not be just words, but a true surrender. May heaven recognize the sincerity of this heart that cries out for help. May this supplication be received as pleasing incense before the divine altar. So whatever path the miracle needs to take, I trust that you are guiding every step. Even if I don't yet see the solution, I know that nothing is standing still. Something is being aligned. Something is being prepared. Something has already begun to move while this prayer continues to be said. Sir, I place time before you, my time and your time. I acknowledge that many times I wanted immediate answers, clear signs, quick solutions. But today, I choose to trust in your perfect action even when I don't understand, even when it hurts, even when the silence seems heavy. I know that your silence is not absence, it is invisible work. San Carlo Acutis, help me not to lose faith amidst the waiting. Help me not to let discouragement extinguish what God has already ignited within me. Sustain my confidence when my mind is filled with doubts and my heart feels weak. Hold my spiritual hand now because I need to keep going, even when I'm tired. Sir, enter the areas of my life that I avoid looking at out of fear. Touch what I hide so as not to suffer. Visit the wounds that have not yet healed, the traumas that still hurt, the losses that have left deep scars. None of this is too small for you. None of this is invisible to your eyes. I surrender to you, Father, the words I don't know how to say, the requests stuck in my throat, the thoughts mingled with tears. Receive this imperfect but sincere prayer. Receive this cry born from the real need for an urgent miracle. I don't come as someone strong. I come as someone who trusts. San Carlo Acutis, take this crying out heart before God. Take this request that needs an answer. May grace reach where my strength fails. May mercy cover where faith falters. May divine intervention draw near while I remain here, praying, waiting, believing. Sir, if I am being tested at this moment, grant me perseverance. If I am being prepared, grant me patience. If I am being molded, grant me humility. I accept your process, but I continue to cry out for your action, because I know that you are a God who listens, who sees, and who answers. Sir, look at my fragility at this moment. I don't hide from you how tired I am of waiting, how much it hurts not to have answers, how much my heart feels pressured by the urgency of this matter. But even so, I choose to remain here, before you, because I know there is no safer place than your presence. San Carlo Acutis, intercede for me when my words fail. Speak for me when my faith wavers. Present before God, what only He knows deeply, the true weight of this need, the urgency of this miracle, the impact this answer will have on my life. May none of this be ignored in heaven. Sir, now enter into what seems blocked. Untie the knots that I cannot untie. Remove the obstacles that have arisen in my path. Go before me in situations that are beyond my control. If it is necessary to change routes, align circumstances, or touch hearts, may everything happen according to your perfect will. I surrender to you, Father, the fear of being disappointed, the apprehension of creating expectations, the pain of having waited before. Heal these scars within me. This restores my ability to trust again. Don't let past experiences steal my faith in what you will yet do. San Carlo Acutis, keep my hope alive. Remind me that God never forgets a promise and that no prayer offered with sincerity is ever lost. May this supplication continue to rise to heaven while I remain here, with an open heart, waiting, trusting, believing. Sir, even before seeing, I give thanks. Even without understanding, I rest. Even feeling the weight of waiting, I remain in prayer, because I know that while I cry out, heaven continues to work. Beloved Father, at this moment I empty myself so that you may occupy all the space. I take from my hands that which I tried to control, decide, or resolve alone. I place this urgent situation at your feet, because I know that nothing flourishes when it is trapped within my limitations. In you, everything finds a way out. San Carlo Acutis, constant friend of those who suffer and wait, remain by my side while the answer is still pending. Help me not to give up on prayer halfway through. Sustain my faith when the days dawn heavy and when the nights seem too long. May I not stray from God precisely at the moment when He works most silently. So go behind the scenes of this cause. Act where my eyes cannot see, where my hands cannot reach, where my strength cannot touch. Move the right people, reorganize circumstances, adjust situations that today seem confusing and out of place. May everything begin to align according to your will, even if I do not yet understand. I surrender to you, Father, the anxiety about the outcome, the fear of delay, the insecurity that keeps returning. Cover me with your peace, the peace that doesn't depend on immediate answers, but is born from deep trust in you. Teach my heart to rest even while waiting. San Carlo Acutis, I present this request once again before God, not as repeated words, but as a persistent cry from one who believes. May this prayer continue to rise to heaven. May this supplication remain alive. May this faith not fade while the miracle approaches, while time passes, while I remain here praying. Sir, listen to this heart that insists on knocking at your door, not out of stubbornness, but out of faith, not out of despair, but out of trust. You hear even what I cannot say, every sigh, every held-back tear, every silent thought. Nothing goes unnoticed before you. San Carlo Acutis, walk with me through this time of total surrender. May I not feel alone while I wait. May I perceive God's presence even when everything around me seems too silent. Strengthen my soul so that I may continue to believe that miracles do not depend on my strength, but on divine grace. Sir, if this request requires change in me, change me. If it requires growth, make me mature. If it requires absolute trust, teach me to trust without reservation. I don't just want the answer. I want to remain united with you throughout the entire process, even when the path narrows. I place myself in front of you, Father, every detail of this urgent matter, the beginning, the middle, and even what hasn't happened yet. Nothing escapes your care. Nothing is too small for your love. Everything can be touched by your powerful hand, in due time and in the perfect way. San Carlo Acutis, take this cry to heaven again. May my faith not weaken with the passing of time. May this prayer continue to live, pulsating, rising as a sincere plea, while I remain here waiting, trusting, surrendering, and believing that God is acting now, even if my eyes do not yet see. Sir, I now end my restlessness and begin a new time of trust. I choose to rest in your care. Everything that has been surrendered here remains in your hands. I do not retract this request. I do not turn back on my faith. I trust that heaven has heard every word, every silence, every tear. San Carlo Acutis, I thank you for your intercession even before seeing the miracle manifest. Thank you for walking with me in this prayer, for taking my plea to God, and for reminding me that simple faith is capable of moving mountains. May I know how to recognize the signs, the answers, and the doors that will begin to open. Sir, hear this urgent request according to your perfect will. If it is for healing, heal. If it is for liberation, liberate. If it is for restoration, restore. May this miracle not only resolve a situation, but transform my life and strengthen my faith. I declare, with humility and hope, that what seemed impossible begins to become possible in your hands, that what was blocked begins to move, that what was dark begins to receive light. I choose to believe that something changed today while I prayed. And so, with a surrendered heart, with renewed faith and living hope, I entrust everything to you, Lord, through the intercession of St. Carlo Acutis. Amen. If you've stayed this far, understand this. It didn't happen by chance. Nothing in this prayer was random. Every word was carefully chosen to reach your heart at the moment you needed it most. Heaven knows your pain, your urgency, and even what you haven't yet been able to express. Now, I invite you to take a step of faith. Write your prayer request in the comments. Put there what weighs most heavily on your heart, what you urgently need St. Carlo Acutis to present before God. Don't write out of habit, write with truth, surrender, and trust. At this moment, your prayer is not just read, it is received on a spiritual level. Don't carry this order alone. When you write, your faith is released, the silence of pain is broken, and God's grace begins to work. Share with God what you hope for, dream of, and secretly cry out for. This is a real, profound, and vivid moment of connection with heaven. And if you know someone who needs an urgent miracle today, don't keep this video to yourself. Send it, share it, be a beacon of light in that person's life. Perhaps this video is exactly the answer to prayer they were waiting for. A simple share can bring hope, comfort, and transformation to someone who no longer knew where to look. Write your request with faith, share with love, trust without fear, because St. Carlo Acutis intercedes, God listens, and miracles begin when the heart believes.